In the vast universe of art, few stars have shone as brightly or as revolutionarily as Pablo Picasso. His name is synonymous with modern art itself, a titan whose relentless creativity shattered conventions and reshaped our very perception of reality. But behind the legendary name was a man on a constant journey of transformation, a life lived through color, shape, and unyielding passion. From a child prodigy in sunny Spain to a global icon, this is the story of a genius who didn't just create art, he redefined it for all time. Our story begins in Málaga, Spain, in 1881. Born into a world of light and warmth, young Pablo Ruiz Picasso showed an artistic inclination almost from birth. His first word was famously pis, short for lápiz, the Spanish word for pencil. His father, Don José Ruiz y Blasco, a painter and art professor, recognized his son's prodigious talent early on. He would give the young boy brushes and pencils, teaching him the fundamentals of academic drawing. In their humble home studio, surrounded by the scent of oil paint and turpentine, a legend was being forged. Even as a small child, Pablo was captivated by the world around him, often found sketching the pigeons that fluttered in the town square, his small hands capturing their movement with an accuracy that defied his age. As Picasso entered his teenage years, his family moved first to La Coruña and then to the vibrant cultural hub of Barcelona. This period marked a crucial stage in his development. He was no longer just a talented child. He was a serious artist honing his craft. His technical skill was astonishing. At just 13, he painted portraits with the maturity of a master, and by 14, he was admitted to Barcelona's prestigious School of Fine Arts, completing the entrance exam in just 1 week. His early works from this time showcase a mastery of realism, a testament to his classical training. But even then, a restless spirit was evident. Barcelona's bohemian cafes and intellectual circles exposed him to new ideas, planting the seeds of rebellion against the very traditions he had so effortlessly mastered. The turn of the century brought a dramatic and profound shift in Picasso's life and art. At the age of 20, shattered by the suicide of his close friend Carlos Casagemas, Picasso plunged into a period of deep melancholy. This emotional turmoil gave birth to his iconic blue period. From 1901 to 1904, his canvases were drenched in somber shades of blue and blue-green, populated by the gaunt, sorrowful figures of society's outcasts, beggars, drunks, and the desperately poor. Living between Barcelona and Paris, he experienced poverty and isolation firsthand. The cold, stark lighting of his paintings reflected his inner world, a powerful and poignant expression of human suffering and loneliness. It was a period that revealed Picasso's incredible ability to channel his deepest emotions directly onto the canvas. But just as despair had consumed him, a new light began to enter Picasso's world. In 1904, he settled in the Bateau Lavoir, a rundown artists' building in Montmartre, Paris. There, he fell in love with a model named Fernande Olivier, and his mood, along with his palette, began to brighten. This marked the beginning of his rose period. The cool blues gave way to warm, gentle hues of pink, orange, and earth tones. His subjects changed too. Inspired by the circus performers he often saw near his studio, his paintings were now filled with acrobats, harlequins, and clowns, while a subtle melancholy still lingered in their eyes. The overall atmosphere was one of tenderness, poetry, and a quiet, hopeful romanticism. This transition wasn't just a change in color. It was the emotional dawn after a long, dark night. By 1907, Picasso, now in his mid-20s, was on the verge of his most radical breakthrough. He was no longer content with simply depicting the world as he saw it. He wanted to deconstruct it, to show it from multiple viewpoints at once. In his cluttered Parisian studio, alongside his contemporary Georges Braque, he began a series of bold experiments. They shattered perspective, broke down objects into geometric forms, and reassembled them on the canvas. The revolutionary result was a painting that would shock the art world to its core. Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, with its fragmented figures and stark, mask-like faces. It was a declaration of war on artistic tradition. This was the birth of Cubism, an entirely new visual language that would become the first major avant-garde movement of the 20th century. Over the next few years, Picasso and Braque would continue to develop this style, moving from analytic cubisms, monochromatic dissections, to synthetic cubisms, more colorful and playful collages. The years between the two world wars were a period of immense change and productivity for Picasso. Now an established and famous artist, his personal life was as dynamic and complex as his art. He moved through different relationships, each new muse inspiring a new direction in his work. He flirted with neoclassicism, returning to more figurative and monumental forms, and then engaged with the dreamlike visions of the surrealists, though he never officially joined their group. His creative output was staggering. He explored sculpture, printmaking, and ceramics with the same ferocious energy he brought to painting. He moved in the most elite art circles of Europe, a celebrated figure whose style was in constant, unpredictable flux. This era showcases a mature artist at the height of his powers, restlessly experimenting, absorbing influences, and reinventing himself time and time again. In 1937, a single event would inspire Picasso to create what is arguably the most powerful anti-war statement ever painted. During the Spanish Civil War, the Basque town of Guernica was brutally bombed by Nazi German and fascist Italian warplanes at the request of Spanish nationalists. Outraged, Picasso, now 55 years old, channeled his fury and despair into a monumental canvas, working in a stark, black, white, and grey palette reminiscent of newspaper photographs. He created Guernica. The vast painting is a chaotic and terrifying tableau of human and animal suffering, screaming mother clutching her dead child, a gored bull, a wounded horse, figures trapped in burning buildings. It is a raw, visceral cry against the barbarity of war. Guernica became an international symbol of peace, solidifying Picasso's status not just as an artistic innovator, but as a profound moral voice for his time. Picasso lived for nearly 4 more decades after creating Guernica, and his creative fire never dimmed. He spent his later years in the sun-drenched south of France, working with a vitality that defied his age. His style continued to evolve, marked by a return to vibrant color and a more free, expressive approach. He produced an enormous body of work, including thousands of paintings, drawings, and prints. He also devoted himself to ceramics, creating hundreds of unique and playful pieces. He looked back at the masters he had always admired: Velázquez, Goya, Delacroix, created his own bold reinterpretations of their work. Even in his 80s and 90s, the elderly Picasso could be found in his studio from dawn until dusk, a testament to a life dedicated entirely to the act of creation. He was a force of nature, an artist who never stopped searching, never stopped working, and never stopped changing. Pablo Picasso died in 1973 at the age of 91, leaving behind an artistic legacy of unparalleled scale and influence. Across more than 75 years, he produced an estimated 50,000 artworks, moving through an incredible array of styles and mediums. He was a painter, sculptor, printmaker, ceramicist, and stage designer. More than anything, he was a revolutionary who taught us that art is not about reproducing reality, but about creating a new one. He broke the rules so that others could find their own way. His life was a testament to the power of transformation, a relentless quest for the new, proving that the true mark of a genius is to never stand still. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the incredible life of Pablo Picasso. If you enjoyed this exploration of a master's life, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest artists and creators. We'll see you next time.